Did we do it right? We did it right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Movie Couple and Late to the Party live. We're crossing the stream today. Dustin couldn't be here. He got scheduled to work, and he's like, should I try to change my schedule? And I'm like, I think that's okay. So too much of a headache.
Cross the streams. Been looking forward to this for such a long time. Dustin, I'm sure he watch the streams. I know when I was at work, I'd just be watching, like longing to be on the interwebs with everybody else. Because if he's watching, he's here with us, like all you guys are.
This is true. You know, this is an afterthought. I should have sent him a link on the phone so he could have maybe popped in for like a hot second.
As we have seen with trying to go live and stream, complications arise. Who would have known? Like, we may not even have been able to get him. It's so hard to just get everyone in.
Look, Mercury's in retrograde.
We almost had no audio right before the beginning of this. Sometimes things just don't work.
Sometimes things just don't work. Sometimes we forget how things work. And actually, for an example, I was sitting here getting ready to go, and I'm like, where's my cam link? Why can't I see my camera? That was my tech issue.
Of course.
I couldn't see the camera on the stream, and I'm like, oh no. Oh wait, where's the cable? And literally walked past the cable like 4 times. Oh, no. Going crazy, tearing apart across the room. Navi's gone in hiding because she's like, you're insane.
She knows the camera's coming on, so it's like, I don't want to be on the camera.
None of this. None of this today. So you guys, welcome to today's cross stream. We are discussing spoilers for the latest episode of Loki and The Bad Batch, as well as some news for little bitty news, but important news for Patty Jenkins' Star Wars Rogue Squadron, and a whole new facelift for the WB studio tour. And let's go ahead and kind of jump into that. You guys, when you guys visited LA a while back, please come back. I miss you guys. I miss your faces in person.
We're planning on it. We're hoping.
Really?
Yeah.
My fingers are crossing.
Halloween Horror Nights is coming, and we just feel wrong if we miss it. I don't know. It's weird.
This is true. They are, interesting that you brought that up. We brought this up a couple of streams ago. They haven't, I don't think, officially announced that they're back, but they are building mazes.
Correct. Yeah. And if it's one of those daytime things mixed with Universal, that'd kind of be better because we'd be down to go to Universal as well.
Yeah. You can just do a daytime thing. And they have that new ride. They have the what is it? The Secret Life of
Secret
Pets.
Life, yeah.
Apparently it's very cute.
Yeah.
What, Robert?
There's a funny fart scene in the first movie.
You gotta do
it's
it
fine.
No matter what, because it is a new ride.
Hey, my daughter loved it, so I mean, it's,
there you go.
It was a hit with the demographic for sure, and I get it, the ride, but nonetheless, I'm there for the Mummy.
I was gonna say we're gonna be on a loop on the Mummy ride the whole time.
Jurassic World. We have a lot of fun on that Mummy ride.
Yeah, and that's right. And you guys have to see the new Jurassic World ride or Jurassic Park, whatever the drop.
Got to see it.
We got to see it, but some of it just didn't.
Well, it wasn't.
Were all the dinos working?
Complete, right?
It wasn't complete. It was the first wave when they first released Jurassic World, the ride, before they completed it with the Indominus Rex.
The Indominus Rex was there, but it didn't come out
it didn't do the.
It didn't do the thing.
Yeah,
so
it really do nothing.
Look, it's the thing, and then we dropped.
It's pretty impressive because I went like this, and it's an anima. As an adult, we know, the truth about the Easter Bunny and Santa and the dinosaurs. But we're just kind of and I went like this. I was like, where was I gonna go?
I mean, it's a big moment. Growing up, you always thought about a T-Rex coming after you, and there's part of you that realizes it's fake, it's an animatronic, it's a ride, but you just tap into that wonder. It's the same thing we do with movies, where it's just you're in it, you're freaking dinosaur coming out. That's the experience you're looking for. You just get into the moment.
Right.
It was a good time, Jurassic World. But we also did the same thing when we came for the WB tour as well.
Yeah. So let's talk about that before we jump into a couple of our super chats here. They have now did a grand reopening of their brand new Warner Brothers studio tour. Funny thing, Dustin and we live in LA. I literally have never gone on the studio tour. I've been on the lot for WB, never once did the tour. So there's been, there was a whole media day. So various outlets and various influencers and a bunch of people got to go and experience it, and they've added, not just like the huge DC universe, all the costumes, photo ops, cool things, but they also added a bunch of Harry Potter stuff and Fantastic Beasts stuff, which I think Vanessa and I are both equally like itching to be like, let us in the gate, just let us in. You guys saw the video of, I think there's one from Collider that of like a giant, basically like a 5-minute walkthrough. I am really happy that there is now, because I'm not sure when you guys went, was there any sort of Harry Potter?
There was still, they did kind of, it was more like a museum that you were going through, and they had a bunch of the costumes from the movie. They had like a tiny little like thing that had the letters coming out. They had a little area where they pretend to put the Sorting Hat on you, and I got Hufflepuff when we went.
Yes,
I was so excited.
Yeah, completely random. And she sat
down.
But
I feel like they might have heard me say Hufflepuff, because I was saying Hufflepuff for life, because they had a section for the Tri-Wizard tournament, and they had like their outfits there, and they had the one for Diggory there. Right. So I was like, Hufflepuff for life. So maybe they might have heard it, and they're like, oh, we'll just have her be Hufflepuff.
So you guys can actually see all of this stuff. We did shoot a vlog from the WB tour that has how it looked before, and then there's videos out there of how it looks now. We were watching Ordinary Adventures. They go to a whole bunch of theme
Peter
parks, right? Absolutely. And they just did a video there showing us what is new, and it
looks so nice. Like when when you first come in to get your ticket, like they revamped that whole area. Like when we went, it was kind of just like a small little, like they had the desk where you get your tickets.
So waiting
room. They had like a little like coffee area.
With a Starbucks.
Like to get coffee, but it wasn't really like, but then when you go now, it's like they have the new store in there, so you could see the Warner Brothers store, which I wish we had Warner Brothers stores again still.
I mean, we did. We got them for a short period of time. It's a pop culture staple of the 90s for malls in America. But yeah, I am so happy that Warner Brothers decided to dress up the studio tour, because I mean, that thing, it was great. We had an amazing time, but it is more of exhibits than it is an experience.
Oh, well, except for at the end.
Some stuff.
It's in the video too. So there is parts where they have you and you can pick like different things you could do. And it's like a green screen, and you can either like ride a broom, or you could be on the bat pod thing.
Oh my gosh.
So I did the broom, and it's just so funny. Like they tell you, do this, like, oh, look behind your shoulder, because you're like on a broom. And then and then of course they put you in like an interactive video. And then at the end they're like start cheering, so it's just hilarious.
The videos are in the vlog, but it's great.
You're a wizard, Vanessa.
Yeah, it's great seeing them throw some money at it, because they've been doing it already with the experiences like overseas, like in the UK for WB. So it's good that they brought some of that over.
London tour.
Right.
Oh, same. Yeah, that one is like exponentially more detailed, I think. And I don't know if it has to do with like space and things like that, but I'm loving this new facelift. And you guys, if you want to check out Robert and Vanessa's video, their channel is actually linked just below this video. So make sure you click on that and give them a sub. If you haven't already, follow them everywhere and then watch that video. I remember clicking on it, and I was so jealous that you guys got to go. And Dustin's like, why are you jealous? You live here.
Yeah, you could go whenever you want.
And I'm like, I know, but it's like, still that FOMO a little bit.
And Tim and Ashley were there with us too, so you got to see them.
Yeah, you got to see kind of like the core of what Late to the Party was when we first kind of started, before life happens in pandemics and we took on the burden. But when it came down to it, man, it was a team effort across the board. And that was one of the adventures we got to go on, was Warner Brothers Studios.
Yes.
And I love seeing all these updates to it. Friends, little heavy-handed. I get it, Friends. Everyone loves Friends.
Yes.
I've never watched Friends with the exception of maybe like an episode or two.
See a couple episodes here and there. I know some of the jokes.
But it takes up a lot of the portion. So there's a big portion of it where I'm like, okay. Like I'm kind of like, I don't feel the connection like everybody else. So to me, it's like, it's not a good use of space in my adventure. but in terms of everybody else who love Friends, like it's a cool experience.
Yeah, and they get to add that. When we were watching the videos of the new sets and stuff, I love that it's like they actually do bring. There's a lot of Instagram moments that you can take pictures.
Yeah, the Wonder Woman wings from
like
1984,
right. And then they have her
Lasso of
truth, and like when you grab onto it, it lights up. So it's kind of cool. So it's like you can take a picture, and it's like.
But they didn't just leave the part that you grab; like it goes up and like twirls around into the sky and lights up around the whole thing when you grab it. So if you're standing farther back, you get the whole. So did you ever do the I like scary movies, we like scary movies exhibit? Did you go to that, Wendy?
No, I didn't. I wanted to, but a lot of my friends went, and I was like kind of living vicariously through their posts.
It's coming down to photo experiences,
right? Yep. I do love those moments. Like there's one where you can hold onto Aquaman's trident. That I love the wings of that they have, and then they also have, like new section where it has Snape's potion classroom. And like they have an interactive thing where it pretends like you're creating a potion, and then it lights up. And
the effects
if you don't get the potion correct, then it goes red, and it's
the effects
you're
are
gonna
simple,
blow the whole place up.
They're legit. Like it's a cool experience from what it seems. We'd love to come back and do it again, and then maybe that's when you guys
cross the stream again, and then we can just cross the vlogs.
You'll endanger us. You'll endanger our client, the nice lady that paid us in advance before she became a dog. Cross the stream.
Across the stream.
Across the streams.
Everybody, you can, I think now that it's open on the weekends right now, June 26th through July 11th, and then the tour will go being on July 5th through July 15th, and that's going to operate 5 days a week, and then it'll just close on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. I guess they're doing different groups, so it departs from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and then it departs every 30 minutes, which is nice. So you're not like, overcrowded with people when you're trying to get your photo. You can really enjoy the experience. The tickets are available now online. It's $69 for adults, so that's ages 11 and up. $59 for kids 5 to 10. And you would need a advance reservation. So, and then California residents eligible for a special rate of $57 on the weekdays only. All the way through September 30th, which I will definitely be going on a weekday and not a weekend. We try to avoid doing crowded things on weekends.
It makes sense because everybody is out doing everything now, so it's amplified.
It's amplified. Yeah. Speaking of Friday weekend things, and because I just finished watching you guys' Fast 9 review of you guys' in theater review, we went to Cinemark to watch Fast 9 last night as well, but it was crowded because all the mandates in California has lifted. So even though we got to have our own watch party in the theater, everybody felt it was great. I think the crowd, and it was only at the concession, that was the only place and it only looked crowded.
Sure.
And I will say the majority of the people still wore their masks and stuff like that. So it's not like they're just kind of whatever, COVID's over, because it's not. But it's certainly things are definitely a sign of things getting back to normal here in California.
That's awesome that you got the private watch party too, because we partnered with Cinemark in the past.
Yes.
Numerous movies with Cinemark for the private watch party, and we got to see the evolution of growth at the concession stand, and it got the second movie we went, bam! Holy crap!
There is a difference when we went to go see Wonder Woman 1984 in December. It was super dead. I felt like it was just us that were there.
That was it.
Pretty much getting stuff versus when we went to see Godzilla versus Kong. And that is where it got super crowded. Like the line for the concession stand was almost to the door.
Absolutely. It was in the box office.
Whoa.
It turned into the box office line as well, to where it's now I can pay and I can get in line for concession stand. But I'll tell you what, though, and I wish we chronicled it, because we were there, we had the camera, but we kind of focused more on the movie itself. But we should have chronicled that line flew. We got in that line as well. And that line flew. I talked to the manager, and he was so it felt like he was almost on the verge of tears.
Yeah,
how happy he was that they were able to burn through the line and that there was a line for them to be able to do. He was so glad.
I mean, theaters make their money mostly on concession. People think it's movie tickets, but movie tickets, most of it goes back into the studio. An opening weekend, I think movie theaters don't get any of the box office.
Yeah.
It all goes back. So
what I knew of. Yeah.
So unless that's changed, and that's why I know concession's expensive, but and you guys too, we love our movie theater popcorn. I almost cried the first time. Our first going back theater experience was actually The Quiet Place too.
Sure.
Thanks to you guys.
Hell of a way to bring it back in. Hell of a way to bring it back in. That was a good night, everybody.
It was a good night.
Look into those videos because
both of our videos.
Yeah.
Yes. That was good because
really
we were
great.
so excited, like doing the Q&A, and then when we saw when they said the real rejects, and then when they said our name, we all got excited. So everybody else that was in the theater, because it was a public, like it wasn't like a private screening for us, so there was other people in that theater with us watching the Q&A, and I'm pretty sure they're like, why are they cheering for a question?
Yeah. And to give people backstory, essentially Cinemark invited us to go watch the live stream of the Q&A of the movie, but Wendy and Dustin, being in Los Angeles, got to go to where Jim Halpert himself was on stage with J.J. Abrams moderating, and they got to be right there. And not only that, did they get to experience it right in front of them with the movie, we, Satellite, got to experience the fact that we put in a question, and they only read 3 questions total. The first one was the real rejects. The second one was us. The third one was Dwayne and Jazz. But J.J. Abrams asked our question to Jim Halpert. John Krasinski. Jim Halpert is where I always end up going. Jim Halpert ended up we were in a theater in Tucson, Arizona, and when they said our name, we're all, like the whole line of us with people in the theater were all.
There's a little inside thing. So before we submitted our question, like we thought, we're like, I wonder what he would say. And our question was like, who from The Office would survive in this world that he's created? And I was like, I think that John is going to say Creed. Everyone assumes it's going to be Dwight, but I really think he's going to go out of the box with this one and say Creed, because I feel like Creed would survive. And then, of course, he does say Creed. I'm like, I knew it.
Yeah, so check out the video, check out the vlogs that we did in Cinemark, man. Really took a bunch of vloggers and YouTubers and stuff and said, come back to the movies. Like, they did such a good job and are still doing it, getting everybody reacquainted to come back to the theater. So it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah. It's a great experience. We love the movies. We love watching it at home. It's great, but nothing beats your in theater, experience with like, you're sitting in the dark room and you feel all the sound effects, like because your chair just shakes ever so slightly. You're like, something's happening. So it's awesome. Make sure you guys check out that video. Again, their channel is linked below. And we're going to go ahead and get to our first super chat here before we move on to the next topic. This one's from Marvin Martin with a brand new Marvin the Martin icon there. So Marvin always sends us a super chat with a recommendation. So the recommendation for today is A.R. Torres's Girl in 6E, Girl Dexter. Okay. Erica Stevens, Captive. Slightly better Twilight. Okay. And Forbidden Game and Night World by writer of Vampire Diaries. Whoa. Okay. I'm going to take actually, I can just screenshot it. There we go. So I can look it up later and I don't forget everything. Marvin, thank you so much for your super chat. And we also have this one from Rolando Martinez Jr., who writes, I would like to know, what the heck is Abomination and Wong doing in Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings? Go, Robert and Vanessa.
Holy crap, guys. It was Abomination. Like, when you do these trailer reactions,
everything is happening so fast.
It's improv. You have no clue what you're going to see, where the conversation's going to go, what you're going to focus on, what you're going to catch, which if you miss it, everyone's going to let you know about it in the comment section. So when that happened, and I'm like, wait, was that Abomination? Like, when you watch the reaction, I love everyone's reaction specifically to that moment, because you see those who catch it and those who were able to focus in on Abomination, and then there's others that are like, was that Wong in Abomination? I saw the previewed I think caught it. They're like, I saw the little the shield, like, was that Wong? And they're like,
orange.
And they just moved on because it's like you don't know and you can't analyze. But when they're like, yeah,
until you go back and stop it.
Wong and Abomination. Holy crap!
Yeah, it's crazy, right? I mean, when Dustin and I were watching it, we were so focused on, because he's like, "Is that Abomination?" And we kind of second guessed himself immediately, because it doesn't look quite like the Abomination that we saw in the last time, and that was a while ago.
Say.
Right. Yeah, a little. It's got the fin, and that's where Dustin kind of second guessed himself. Sure, and we were so focused on exactly that. And we were so focused on like looking at Abomination and trying to figure out if it is or if it isn't, that we totally didn't even look at who he's fighting until saying to you guys that it's Wong. People are saying it's not Wong, it is Wong. So, after watching 50 million times over and looking at the screenshots, I guess we can't confirm because we don't see his face, but the physicality and the hairstyle and everything else looks very similar to Wong.
100%. And it's a badass
it would be
fight
cool,
to see.
like when it is officially like, oh yes, it is Wong. But even if it is a different, they also have a lot of sorcerers out there too, and I'm sure they probably go off and 100%. Do these underground fighting rings.
Yeah.
Think about that. That's the movie I want to see. Just some sorcerers that are doing their job, but at the same time, they need a little scratch. Yeah, they need a little scratch on the side, so they're fighting.
He's gonna want a tuna melt.
Yeah, he goes and picks up a tuna melt on his way out. Yeah. It's free for fighting because the venue's giving you that instead of pay. But
as long as it's not Subway tuna melt, right?
Oh, right. Well, apparently Subway's tuna melt isn't a tuna melt, so that's what we've been hearing, right? Which doesn't matter because I don't go there for the tuna anyways. It's about the meatball. I don't want tuna.
I'll do the grilled chicken.
I do tuna at a different place. The grilled chicken's
pretty good. I was like obsessed with their sweet onion chicken sub. Remember that when it came out like years ago?
No, I was eating the meatball.
I do like the meatball.
I did love their rotisserie style chicken that they had, and then they don't have it anymore. It makes me really sad because I thought that was really good.
Subway, eat fresh or eat not so fresh. Yeah, not really. But yeah, Wong and Abomination. That's going to be sick.
That's going to be, we don't know exactly why. It could be just a cameo to show that, yes, all the, all the movies and all the heroes and the MCU is all, in fact, connected. And that's why, yes, exactly. And we got Cam K here flying in with a super chat who writes, the actor who plays Wong took a picture with Simu on the set of Shang-Chi. So there's that. Awesome. I guess that's kind of a confirmation then. I mean,
was it Benedict Wong?
Yeah,
Benedict Wong. Yeah, thank you, Cam K.
Sunshine with damn, I haven't memorized his name yet. What's the name of the guy that plays Scorpion in the new Mortal Kombat? He was in Sunshine. He plays Kaneda.
Hanade Hiroshi.
Yeah, I haven't committed him to memory yet, but the dude is on the list. Like, it's gonna happen. He deserves to be remembered for the stuff, especially since Sunshine. Kaneda's death. Kaneda, the theme song comes out with his character in Sunshine, the song that has been made very, very popular in our household because it was done by John Murphy. Either way, he's done amazing.
Some other things
he's done amazing.
I messed up his name completely.
Hiroyuki Sanada.
Thank
you,
Hiroyuki
MK
Sanada.
Songbird.
Thank you, MK. MK is always coming in hot with the facts and all the stuff. It's perfect. Let's see, a couple more super chats to get to before. Actually, I kind of want to save these two, but I don't want to lose them.
Sure.
So let me just take a picture of it real quick because I want to circle back for Loki. But we've got one from. I just want to address that we've got them from Cam and from Bleeding Green. So I will take a picture. And we will get to those. And let's go ahead and move on to our next topic here. So let's talk a little Patty Jenkins' Star Wars Squadron. So I know we obviously don't know much right now, other than she's attached to direct. But they have tapped Matthew Robinson from Edge of Tomorrow to writing the script. So now it's officially done. They have a screenwriter. And this is per a report from The Hollywood Reporter. And this is going to be the first Star Wars movie to premiere in theaters since The Rise of Skywalker. What are you guys' thoughts on having Matthew Robinson as the writer for Rogue Squadron?
Did you say what else this person has written by chance? Did I miss that?
Let's see. So he has worked on 2020's Love and Monster, and that's with Dylan O'Brien, which he co-wrote. And then he did the Edge of Tomorrow sequel, Live, Die, Repeat, and Repeat. I guess that's 2 titles again. The Edge of Tomorrow 2 and Live, Die, Repeat, and Repeat, which is currently in development at Warner Brothers. And he was attached as a screenwriter to the revamped film version of Little Shop of Horror in 2016.
All right, so not a whole lot that's been proven yet.
Not a whole lot, correct.
But yeah, I mean, if you're doing a good job,
which can be good or bad at the same time. I think that in this situation, that that Love and Monsters movie, I know that a lot of people, I haven't seen it, but I know that a lot of people said that they really enjoyed that movie.
Sure.
So I'm intrigued, because I do like when you can get fresh faces into these bigger franchises that kind of see what they can do. Kind of like, Taika Waititi, when he hasn't really done a big one until he did Thor Ragnarok.
Correct.
And look how I love Thor Ragnarok. So kind of getting these smaller ones and allowing them to flourish in a bigger pond.
And walks away with the Oscar when he does it. Like the dude is major talented on whether it's screenwriting, directing, or acting, because he is incredible when he's acting.
So I'm intrigued. I'm interested to see what they can bring to the, and then of course, having Patty Jenkins at the director with the director's chair doing her thing Wonder too. Woman. So it'd be interesting to see what she can do with Star Wars.
Right. And you figure it's got to be the knowledge on the inside that's getting them these projects. They're the ones that are watching the behind the scenes and what's going on in terms of a successful screenwriter in Hollywood that we don't know much about because he's barely starting out, but they get to see the work firsthand, and they're like, okay, give them this one too. And they're already lining them up for success. And if they're going to give them a Star Wars movie, like you said, the first one hit the theaters since Rise of Skywalker, it's going to end up being, a lot of merit that he's built up behind the scenes that's going to get him that level of success. Now partner it up with Patty Jenkins, who did great in Wonder Woman 1984. I didn't like it anywhere near as much.
There's amazing parts in that movie.
Correct.
But overall.
But it's also a director returning to a franchise that they're building a sequel for versus the passionate first outing of a character, which has happened to many directors, including Jon Favreau, one of my ultimate favorites when it came down to Iron Man 2. So, I mean, you're not going to always come out swinging when it comes to a second entry. This is now entering a world where it's completely fresh and new and exciting for Patty Jenkins to go into. New characters, not held by the boundaries that have been created by Wonder Woman, the DCEU, and Warner Brothers. Like, you don't have to follow that pattern. And you do have to follow a pattern, that's for sure, because it's Star Wars, hopefully. And if you can fit that pattern in the storytelling that they're going to give us and trajectory, because this is sequels, they can't just keep doing the one entry things. Miniseries have proven that on Disney Plus. We need an ongoing arc and story to be told over time. And they need to do that. Hopefully they can do it together.
Yeah, let's hope so. And I think you guys have a point there with, this not being like a sequel follow-up to anything. Yeah, it's set in the Star Wars universe, but it still will be its own story. Hopefully new characters, not too many old characters. Like, I like seeing Star Wars expand and start showing us some of the new characters, because I think there's a lot of story to be told there. Patty Jenkins spoken very passionately about her father being a pilot and her experience, growing up with that. So I think I want to put the trust, in the team over at Lucasfilm and at Disney for putting together the right team, the right writer that can work with Patty Jenkins and her vision. So we will see. This movie is, aiming to begin pre-production this fall. So it's a good thing they found the writer, and they're going to start filming in 2022. And then they're set for a December 22nd, 2023 release as of now. We'll see. Hopefully the date doesn't shift, because I'm kind of done with movie delays after COVID. Right? Yeah, I'm kind of done with that. What was the question I was going to ask you? If you were any other type of fandom or story, would you like to see Patty Jenkins, take up?
General Hospital, the movie.
Why?
They could tell a hell of an arc with Sonny Corinthos. I'm telling you.
Oh my god, I haven't watched a General Hospital in years.
Poor Charles.
All the memories just flooded back.
Tell a story. That is cinematic. It'd be awesome. It'd be so cool.
Oh my gosh.
Recast Luke and Laura, somebody popular. John Krasinski, Emily Blunt. Like, we can do it.
No.
Stories are tragic.
Oh my gosh.
General Hospital.
My gosh. What if she did Fantastic Four?
Who, Patty? Did you say
yeah.
Patty?
What if it was Patty?
I could see that. 100%.
That would be cool. But
100%.
didn't they say that, what's his name, is doing Fantastic Four already?
Who? Is there somebody?
I can Google that while we think.
Sure. I would say, yeah, I mean, but going on with Patty Jenkins, absolutely. I just feel like it would kind of fit her style.
Spider-Man.
Mark Webb?
Yeah.
Is that
John Watts.
John Watts. Mark Webb did Amazing Spider-Man, I'm pretty sure.
John Watts.
Yeah.
So he's already doing that. But I think,
sure, why not?
I mean,
Mark Webb kind of has a John Hughes feel to him. Just not as elongated. Not as elongated and emotional.
I mean, get Patty Jenkins to come and do Blade.
Ooh. That'd be interesting. But I think they
for some reason my brain went softens him up.
Or X-Men.
But I guess you do need
whenever
to
they bring the
up.
mutants in.
I'd love to see her do an X-Men.
I could see Patty Jenkins working well with an ensemble, but I feel like she's, I don't know, better with a smaller group, and that's why I think Fantastic Four. You already got me on it. She may not even, it won't matter because John Watts.
What we really want is the General Hospital movie.
By Patty Jenkins.
By Patty Jenkins. That's what we really want.
The drama 100%. Would be, and then you can have Lily's death too. Like that would just tear down Sonny Corinthos. And Brenda would get kidnapped by like the cartel. It'd be crazy. I'll write it. All right.
Who are you? I've never picked Robert for someone who watched and know the story of General Hospital.
I almost just started singing the theme song in saxophone form because it's good stuff.
I'm so impressed.
He does talk about it every once in a while.
Dude, I'm gonna get there on TeePublic. There's a Sonny Corinthos shirt.
Oh my god!
It's just Sonny Corinthos. I'm gonna get it. It's the next thing.
Vanessa's like, what is this?
I guarantee it. No, it's good stuff. Good storytelling.
Oh my god!
And a lot of people that are in pop culture that you don't realize that are around there. Dunder from The Office. He's the one that Michael Scott kicks out of The Office because he's like old. And that's Edward Quarterman. He's like the leader. He's the main money mogul of Port Charles, and he's in like every episode forever. And he's in The Office. He gets kicked out by Michael Scott. He's like, "Can I get a cab home?" And then he's like, "No, go away," and just closes the door. Yeah, a lot of pop culture icons in General Hospital. But anyways, I dream. Fantastic
we dream.
Four.
Look, you never know. You never know. We'll put it out there like Simu. We'll always put it out there like Simu. Sure. Before we move on to our spoiler discussion for The Bad Batch, we've got the super chat from Aaron Chan here. Aaron writes, did anyone see the new Jurassic World 3 trailer? You guys saw it, yeah?
Yeah.
In Fast 9?
Yeah. I ate it up. I ate it up. Go on.
It was fine. It was just more so of like, oh, this is the technology that we're gonna be using, sort of, and this. Remember, we're coming out with a movie, and it says that it's not coming out till next year. In June of next year. And I'm like, oh my god, it's so far away. But just to kind of give you a gist, it starts off when you're just kind of like back when the dinosaurs ruled the earth. And you're just watching them like roam around. Sure. You see like a T-Rex fighting. I don't know all of my dinosaurs.
I don't even remember what if was it a Ankylosaurus? What? I don't know. I don't even recall what it was.
See the little, of course, the mosquito taking the
Allosaurus.
Maybe I don't know.
I think maybe it's a T-Rex and an Allosaurus. I think it was.
And then it jumps into the future, and then you see them,
going off
and trying to it was kind of like Twister because it takes you to a drive-in.
What?
That's
just driving through the drive-in.
A T-Rex driving through the drive-in.
Wait, you haven't seen it?
No, because for the press screenings they don't play trailers before, and then at the watch party
I get it
because it was IMAX only. So if the watch party wasn't in IMAX, it's IMAX.
Well, there you go.
Only.
That's it. Yeah, we weren't in a IMAX theater. Man, I was kind of bummed. I was like, oh, I wanted to see. I mean, I'm sure it'll hit the internet before long, but
sure. Nothing really got spoiled other than the big thing for me watching it. It felt like kind of like Dinosaur, like Disney's dinosaur movie
at the beginning. Yeah,
not my Dino. But for me is when it changes, and the reason why I ate up this trailer, it's when it changes. It goes from then to present. And for me, the way that Jurassic Park is kind of doing their trailer storytelling, for instance, they released that, not really a trailer, it was kind of a short. What was it, like at Battle Rock or something, where it was
the short film,
yeah, the dinosaurs showing up at the campground.
Yeah.
That is how I feel like you're connecting me to this world. Instead of just trailer for the movie, you're telling tales at theatrical level quality of things that are going on in this world. However, it's very minimal because majority of it is just, when dinosaurs ruled the earth. But that little part at a drive-in feels very Twister.
It did.
Okay.
I wanted more of that. If you gave me more of that, and if that's not in the movie, then I'm buying up your marketing because I want you to fill in the blanks.
A little bit too.
Yeah, you see a little bit of the Mosasaurus, but it's a cool thing to watch. I will watch it again when it comes out. But if it's not in the movie, thanks. Like you're filling in the blanks for me to make me acclimated to this new world.
But I thought it was funny, like when after that was done, and I moved, leaned over and I was like, Robert, I think the Mosasaurus is going to f up the ecosystem of the ocean because he's just going to eat up all the sharks, all the whales,
everything, and then starve to death because there's nothing else to eat. Eat rocks.
Yeah, I mean, there's always more whales, right? Isn't that a thing? Save the whales.
Save the whales.
Don't be hunting whales. Whales are friendly.
Sean Banks is in the chat here saying, why are they showing a trailer already if it's not coming out until June of next year? Followed up by, that movie doesn't sound very interesting. I'm kind of sus, like the way Robert feels.
Was I sus about what?
That you didn't really like the trailer.
Yeah.
Trailer for Jurassic Park?
Yeah, Jurassic World.
Jurassic World. Dominion.
I mean, did I sound like I didn't like it?
Well, because I
kind of got that from the get-go. No, I got that from a little bit.
I'm analyzing. No, I'm analyzing my answer. No, you're right. Like,
okay. Got it.
Like personally, internally, I'm like, did I not like it? Like, I'm thinking about it, but I absolutely did love the dinosaur aspect of it. It just felt like a really cool planetarium movie that I'd see at the planetarium.
We're gonna get
I see what you're saying. Okay.
Attenborough doing his
Attenborough doing the voices. Like it's cool. But yeah, to me it wasn't a trailer. Earth. I feel like they're giving us scenes of filling in gaps until we get to the actual movie. I am stoked for the movie. I hated the last one. Sort of. That's a whole different conversation.
Yeah, it is. Now we're just going to get into different things.
We'll do it when we start streaming, and it'll be like 3 hours long. It's coming, y'all. It's coming.
Hey, I'll sit through a 3-hour stream if it's you guys. Marvin Martin asks, late to the party, Port Charles or Dark Shadows?
Okay, so Dark Shadows, we really got into the vampirism aspect of things. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Port Charles got into the vampire aspect of things, but it didn't start out that way, where Dark Shadows kind of always had that going on. So for me, it was like Port Charles, they just tried to do more stories within General Hospital, but then you got the vampire showing up, and that's, if they had always done stuff like that, then it would have been Port Charles. So for this, I give it Dark Shadows.
Nice. There you go. All right, guys. Should we move on to
Dark Shadows because that's the only one I know.
Because that's the one I know. That's the party I know.
Yeah.
And that's my answer as well.
Robert went inside John Malkovich on us. I love it.
I know. I saw that. Oh man. All right. Let's go ahead and jump into our Bad Batch spoiler discussion. So, what did you guys think of this episode? Because there was a lot that happened. Omega was obviously captured by the one and only, the amazing Cad Bane. I'm so happy he has shown back up in this series. And of course, with all the weird things that are happening with the Kaminoans and what they want to do with Omega and who she is and the clones and the genes and all that stuff. Obviously, they have Fennec Shand also hot on the trail. So we got to see, this was the showdown I was hoping we'd get to see. Fennec versus Cad Bane. What did you guys think of this episode? What were some of your favorite parts?
Some of my favorite parts, I think, would be Omega kind of getting a one-up on Totoro.
Toto. My neighbor.
Oh, the little droid.
Toto.
Yeah.
Seth Green.
Toto. There we go. Yeah, that's right. Totoro.
She forgot again. Toto.
When she gets the one-up on him.
Yeah. I mean, everything that happens in this episode, I felt should stay. And what I would have liked more of was Bad Batch involvement.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, yes, what they're doing is they're giving more strength, and I mean strength in terms of like plot and backstory to Fennec Shand, who is going to be future. Like, they could do big things with Ming-Na Wen if they want for her character and Boba Fett and that whole era, Cad Bane included.
And Omega.
Oh, absolutely, 100% Omega. But when it comes down to this episode, I feel like the Bad Batch were just like, well, we can't do anything until you fix the situation, which is great for Omega. But for a show called The Bad Batch, I felt like if they showed up and were a part of something but couldn't get to Omega, but they were all on the same thing, and the battle was going, he was taking on the Bad Batch and Fennec Shand and vice versa. The only way that doesn't work is if Fennec Shand was good, she wouldn't be fighting the Bad Batch, but maybe it's because she's trying to defend herself from the Bad Batch. That because they think she's bad news because she just killed a bunch of people to get rid of Hunter.
She's also thinking like she needs to get the child for Kimi.
What's her name?
I
don't remember. Nala Su? Nala Su is the main one. Tonwei is the one that died.
I think
so the other one.
I never memorized Kaminoans because I never felt like it was something that I needed to memorize. Now I guess I better get on that, but it feels a little late to the party.
Right, because at the end when Fennec is having that conversation and she's like, well, I can track him. Sure. And she's like, no need.
Sure.
She knows that she's not coming back to community because she's with the Bad Batch. Yep. That's fine.
So she would have been trying to retrieve her no matter what.
She would have still been trying to retrieve her no matter what.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, that makes sense. So my episode holds up, and I would have loved it with the Bad Batch involved a little bit more. But everything else I absolutely love. Cad Bane getting owned by Fennec Shand, which I know some people think, well, he's even myself. I'm like, I was battling with it. He's the cream of the crop. Like, how could he? But why couldn't he? Because we don't know Fennec Shand.
Like, you know how like they kept showing like he had his head off, he had the plate there on his head. Like, he's getting older. Granted, he still was a badass.
Sure.
But you know, there are
very John Wayne.
And we had this conversation too, to the point where it's like he doesn't see Fennec as somebody to be a force to be reckoned with, and so he's not really using or utilizing his full potential that he can.
Sure.
Because he's like, oh, this bounty hunter, you've got
newer.
nothing on me. Like his what's the word I'm looking for? His arrogance?
His John Wayneism?
Yeah.
Like it's
the Duke
pretty much is kind of like clouding his judgment towards her because he's like, oh, I could take you down with one hand.
The Duke mentality.
So he's not really like thinking that she is a threat to him at all.
Yeah,
that's the way that I look at it. Yeah, his ego.
Oh, you didn't say ego? I thought you led with ego.
No.
Okay, well then, ego.
Yeah. So,
but they both work. Arrogance and ego, they both work.
Yeah,
that's 100%.
That's
She fixed Cad Bane for me, and it wasn't even a big thing. I was just like, but isn't? But how come? Did she really got it? So it made Fennec more dangerous to me.
And I would like it. Yeah. Taught me about like when Tarkin. During
evacuate
in our moment of triumph. So it's like you have that feeling like, oh, you underestimate those like chances and stuff. So I feel like that's kind of where my headspace was at when I was watching it.
That makes absolute sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And because of this, I can't wait because like not only Fennec Shand like owned him in that fight. And not to say she didn't take a few good punches herself. Like it was,
face.
A couple, like, she was knocked down a few times. So, she handed it to him, but he also handed it to her. But I think it broke me when she kicked Toto and all those credits went flying in the air. And I was like, his money. No, I felt so bad for him.
I think the biggest part of our reaction was from that exact moment when you realized it was all spilling out of this briefcase. And it broke my heart. Anytime anything happened to Toto, I was kind of worried for a moment because he got his butt kicked in this one, even though he kept making it back to the ship way before Cad Bane.
Yeah, somehow.
And Seth Green's voice, I don't know, it's got like this wailing C-3PO appeal. Like it's very Anthony Daniel. Oh! And it's a good VO and it's a good character. Yeah. I like Toto a lot.
I like money. What are you talking about? She's right there. Oh no!
Honestly, I thought she was gonna put herself back in the cage. Same. And we were like, oh, she's gonna be back there. And then, like, when we see, oh nope, she left. She ran.
Damn, I
like, you know what? I'm gonna peace out.
That part out of our reaction. You can get the full episode watch along. But
put it back in, Robert.
We thought she was like, oh, she could be in the cage. She's not in the cage. Well, crap. Now he's going to chase her down. Yeah. Now you're on the run, girl.
And hopefully, exactly. And hopefully now this will kind of give us hopefully a setup for a live action appearance for Cad Bane, because he's got a score to settle with Ms. Fennec, and they're sitting pretty at, I guess we can call it Jabba's palace. So we will see. And real quick, thank you so much to Antonio Vargas Hasberg for your super chat. Thank you so much for your support. And before we move on, I just want to get to a couple of them because I think a few came in. This one I'm going to go backwards. This one's from Boogietron. Thank you so much, Boogietron. Oh my goodness. And this is perfect because we can kind of dive right into our Loki stuff. Because we know we've got a bunch of super chats for Loki. Boogietron writes, after Loki learned that the TVA is nothing more than variants, do you think that Mobius is someone's variant from the 90s? Which answers why he loved jet skis. Who do you think that whoever is really doing that? In my opinion, possibly Kang the Conqueror. So I think it was that was a big reveal when Sylvie said, "Oh, Hunter C-320." Like she's like, they're all variants, and that kind of just squashed what Mobius had told Loki previously, and that could explain his love for jet skis. He's got like magazines of the jet skis. And I wanted to ask you guys this. In a conversation, this was in a previous episode with Renslayer, he was talking about, I know you got other agents working for you and I'm not the only one. And she kind of pointed out, look at all those rings on the table. Do you think all those agents that they're just speaking about, because he's aware there's other agents working, but do you think it's possible they're all him?
Yeah, actually, that makes a lot of sense.
Other variants of himself,
it could be. I just think it'd be weird if that he doesn't bump into them in the halls.
Well, they are in different areas and it could be like the movie Oblivion, where there's multiple different Tom Cruises and you can't go out of a certain boundary.
That's true. So, yeah, you're keeping everybody locked into a certain area. You don't have the credentials to move into a new area, but at some point they all have to go to her office. So I feel like you're gonna be passing through in the same common areas, and I feel like you'd be running into other variants of yourself. That place is so massive, though, the TVA. So it's
not like a real circle. It's like a freaky circle.
But yeah, I mean, there could be different versions of him. It could just be that, I don't know, like it's weird the way that they're setting it up, that he just doesn't have this knowledge really of his other agent. He does kind of mention an agent versus agents, so he knows there's other teams out there, but I feel like if anything, there's this other agent that maybe is his variant doing something, but I don't know if there's like a lot of Owen Wilsons, but I don't know. At this point, it could be so many things when it comes to the variants at the TVA and who's running the timeline.
I also feel like if we learned anything from watching WandaVision, is that everything is what it seems in the show.
Right.
And that I feel like just kind of going along with it. Sure, we can kind of speculate a little bit, but I kind of just want to like go into it.
Yeah, we've realized to level out our
like sometimes we'll go like high in our speculation, like, oh, it could be this, and then we're like, wait, WandaVision, bring it back down.
So let's take what's in front of us road and just think there's other agents and there's Mobius and the thing is that
I still think that they are there, the timekeepers.
Sure.
Like, they are still there. It's just that they are TVA is not what it seems, and the way that they do it, like they do it to the way that they think fits.
Sure, it's bias. It's a biased choice,
right? And she's just, and I think that Sylvie is wanting to go because something happened to her to the point where she wants to destroy that.
I personally think that they think that her timeline is not important or is not supposed to be around,
and so they want to reset her.
And maybe her whole timeline's gone. Maybe a big aspect of her timeline is gone. Like,
if you watch the featurette that they posted, there is like a slip section part where you see like a TVA. I would assume it's one of the TVA guards, like with a little girl, like she had like long black hair,
young Sylvie,
like a young Sylvie and a little girl, and you see them like coming through the door. So it's like maybe they had her running with them before, and now
I mean, maybe they brought her there to turn her into a variant TVA worker, and as a child, because she's a Loki, escaped and was able to get out, and has been her whole life running from them to, basically get her revenge over time against them. And maybe they pruned her parents and her family and whatever, deeming they're not relevant to the timeline. They're not part of the sacred timeline. So, what does it do to you when it says you don't matter and you shouldn't exist? You fight your decimation. And so I feel like that is what she's doing. But in terms of Mobius and all the others, I don't know. I feel like there may be only one of each. That's my short-sightedness view of it. I don't know if they'll go super crazy, but from the 90s as well. That was the other part of the question.
It's just a variant of Owen Wilson.
No, I just think that they took him from the 90s, and that's his last memories that he remembers.
Okay. That makes sense.
And that's why he's always kind of, around him is usually the old school drinks and stuff from like the 90s, Josta and all that. But I feel like that's him. That's him doing it. Versus
not like various versions of
all of them.
I like that. So. I like that, and that would explain the obsession with the jet skis. And hopefully, we take a look at his desk a little bit more. I'm sure the next episode he'll be back in the next one. So a lot of people have been talking about that there are no timekeepers. That it's really just a kind of a guise. That perhaps Kang the Conqueror is behind all of this. We know that Renslayer and Kang the Conqueror do have a connection. Do you feel? And this is, again, kind of putting that tinfoil hat back on. But I think that's kind of what is so fun about watching these shows. So we can speculate. I don't, sit there and I was like, my prediction better come true. I'm not going to like the show anymore. Like, I don't really care. I've gone past that. I'll watch the show for what it is. Though I do enjoy speculation. Do you feel that in episode 6, we'll either get a Kang the Conqueror reveal or a hint to that maybe he'll appear in season 2?
I think that I would prefer if it was more of a hint than a reveal. Because, we already know that he's going to be in Ant-Man Quantumania.
Sure.
So we already know that we're getting him anyways. Yep. I feel like it would be, for me personally, I would prefer a hint to it. Be like, instead of it showing. Although, if it was a reveal, that's awesome, too.
Yeah.
I mean, they if they wanted to kind of keep the antagonism to Renslayer, is that her name? I haven't even memorized her name.
Yeah,
Renslayer.
Ramona Renslayer.
Renslayer. If they want to keep the antagonism to her, as she's the one hunting down, kind of like the Tommy Lee Jones, like coming out behind a desk and like, I don't care.
Right.
It could feel more like a Baron Mordo situation where it's like, you're breaking the rules. These are the rules, coming after you. And it's somebody you had a kind of a connection with, because Owen Wilson did have a connection with her as short as it was, but in the grand scheme of 6 episodes, it was pretty massive to give us that information. So there's some sort of connection there, and she's just out to finish the timeline. But then you find out that it's because she's a devout follower of the sacred timeline in regards to Kang being the one that's maybe pulling the strings, or the 3 are there, but she's working with Kang to undermine the 3 and do it, start their own conquer the whole timeline. So
I like that a lot, actually. And we don't know if it's going to happen, obviously, but I kind of like that. I think that would make it really interesting. Right. And we have Rolando here with a super chat writing, "Aloha from Hawaii vacation." Oh, enjoy some poke bowl for us. All this multiverse and different dimensions within the MCU, are they setting up a possibly Secret Wars or Dark Avengers? What do you guys think?
I have to read the question again. I got focused on Hawaii. Then I thought of Hawaiian ice, and I want a Hawaiian ice with cherry and a little spoon. It'd just be delicious right on the beach.
I want to go so bad. I've never been.
Or a Kona dog. I'll eat the Kona dog. Let me go back through that question.
I will say nothing is impossible when it comes to the MCU. They can do whatever they deem is the next organic step in the MCU, which I would be, there are tons of stories out there that they are definitely probably going to pull from in the near future. Just kind of like how you're setting up with these Loki, setting up with these Disney Plus series, like gearing towards like a young Avengers, sort of. So, I mean, they can do Secret Wars. I think that would probably be.
I thought that was the plan. I thought they were doing a Secret Wars, and that's why they've been sprinkling that in more recently when it comes to like Captain Marvel and WandaVision with Monica Rambeau, and we're gonna get Nick Fury up on the spaceship.
Sure, and then we're gonna get a Disney Plus series with Don Cheadle too.
Right. Well, that's Armor.
Oh, Ironheart.
Armor Wars, but still, like they're still.
Ironheart, right?
Mm-hmm. Ironheart.
Isn't there like an Armor Wars?
Secret Invasion. There's an Armor Wars. There's Ironheart, and then there's Secret Invasions.
But I think Secret Wars.
Okay, so Secret Wars as like a pinnacle, of course. If they succeed with the Secret Invasion, that's where you're headed, of course. That's the trajectory, but it's all about trajectory and giving us those kernels. Right now
it's all about magic.
Yeah, going through the kernels. Yeah, Secret Invasion, I think, leads to the eventual Secret Wars, like an Avengers level threat, if you will. That's my understanding. But I could be completely wrong about that.
I know.
I think they are setting it up, but with Marvel and with the way they're doing it, they're in for the long game. So we're not going to see that for a while. It'll all lead up to it, but I don't think this is going to be a Phase 5 thing. Even I think it'll be a Phase 6. I think it's
hell. Why not 7, 8, or 9? Like
in the long game,
Marvel forever.
I feel like the dropping in the Wiccan and Speed and all that. I feel like that's just their way of being able to utilize these characters down the line, like so they can point back to that moment and be like, see, this is where we started that, the root of it to get to where we needed to go. And they don't need to touch on it forever. Like, look how long it's been since we got Abomination. Wasn't it like 14 years or something ridiculous? Like, it's been
2008.
Yeah. Ooh. So 8,
God,
9,
I feel
10,
old.
11, 13 years. But so it's been a while since we've seen Abomination. Since I last saw you.
I know it came out before Iron Man 2. I don't know. It's in that, right? It's like in that.
But they take their time when it comes to certain things. They don't need to.
Yeah.
Okay, so Secret Wars is about technology. Secret Invasion is about the Skrulls. So that maybe could be where we're headed with the whole Rhodey storytelling. Maybe I don't know.
I
think it's all coming. I think they just got it all set it up.
Yeah, it's all on the list. I'm sure.
Dark Avengers, though, I don't know. I don't feel like they would. Perhaps they do it in way of a TV show. I don't see Dark Avengers in movies.
I mean, could that start like the kernel of that be coming from the Thunderbolts? Like, wasn't their whole thing? Like, you're starting to get heroes that are not necessarily bad, but they are on the more side of not fully Paragon. Like they have gray areas. So I feel like that could be the start of you starting to get other characters that are heroes of different varying levels of goodness. So Dark Avengers could be one that comes down way down the line.
Yeah, and it's not like I don't want to see it. I definitely want to see it. There's just so much. I feel like there's only so much time we have with a movie with Dark Avengers versus like if we got TV series and they make it multiple seasons, 2 seasons, and they can give us more stories and be able to focus on, multiple things. Like now, like then we have to establish Hammer, if we're talking Dark Avengers. With that said, going back to Loki, they had a very nice conversation on the train there between Loki and Sylvie. But one of the things that Dustin kind of didn't like was the kind of like drunky dancey thing. So Bleeding Green sending it with a super chat here says, during your review of Loki episode 3, Dustin said that he felt that Loki drunk was out of character. I agree. So it got me thinking, what was Loki really doing while Sylvie was asleep? A part of me with the tinfoil hat on thinks that the I don't know, because they all have their magic now, right? And he's such a trickster that there's something not sitting right with me where the TemPad may not actually be broken or destroyed, and there's a lot of it that's illusion. And she already did mention, Sylvie, that she doesn't want to fall asleep with people around the people she doesn't trust, but then she actually did fall asleep. So what happened there? Because that was kind of like a quick cut. Like we're talking about this, and then she's waking up, and Loki's like having like time of his life, which I enjoyed that scene. I thought it was fun watching Hiddleston break it down.
He's an Asgardian prince. You don't think the Asgardian prince was partying? I mean, Thor? It's Loki too. He's arrogant. He's handsome. He's deadly. Like, why wouldn't he be partying it up in Asgard, well before he decided to take the power for himself? So 100% I could see him getting down and partying and doing whatever. And you kind of see the work ethic between the two Lokis, where one would never do it in a mission. The other one is an Asgardian. So, he's basically going to die anyways, just in terms of with all these people, they're headed towards their doom. So what does it matter if he goes and shakes a couple goats and, makes some loud noises? Like he doesn't care when it comes down to it. Pepper. He just
salt and
does.
Pepper and salad.
Yeah, a Loki just does. So I could totally see it where this is all really happening. And Mobius shows up to save them off the planet before it gets destroyed. Or he's a trickster, and if they want to go more psychological, then it could be the other way, which is he's controlling what everyone's seeing and what she's seeing, or vice versa.
We did think about how Loki is manipulating in that it like trying to get more information from her.
Oh yeah,
in those situations too. But at the same time, like if I'm just like taking it as it is, I think it was she fell asleep.
Yep.
He was bored. He's going to do whatever he wants to do because he's a Loki. He's going to cause mischief in that area. He's going to drink. He's going to sing his songs. And then, of course, that gets them into trouble. And then them having to get to the Ark in that same. But see, like there is that, like, he broke the thing. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know if he would do that and then walk all that way when they had I don't know.
There's a lot of interesting things there that we can try to speculate, or we can just, it's easier to take it as what it is than try to sit here and solve the puzzle, than just kind of like, let's just be on the ride. But Cam K here has a really interesting question, and I didn't really think about this until I did my second watch of the episode. Cam says, look, I'm not saying Loki has the time stone, but the one thing I can't shake is not the building going in reverse, but the rubble and in the same path. Is that something you guys noticed when, that happened?
I did
that it was
notice
more magic?
Right. I did notice that too, but I don't think it's the time stone. And if it is, cool. Like, that's awesome that he's using that. But me personally, I don't think it is. I think it is his power that he has. And it just, like, even though he was doing the tower too, it also was affecting stuff around it as well. So that's why, like, the rubble was going back too, because he does have those powers. We saw him like grab the Roomba, and even though this Loki didn't do it, in Thor 2, Dark World, when he has that outburst and all of the chairs and stuff go like flying in every which direction. I think it's just the power that he has. And I also feel like the way that he did the thing, like he just like took his hand and went down. Whereas when we see the time stone being used,
don't you have to do this like a dial it back?
Like a thing with it. So I don't know. I don't know if they would change the way that the time stone is being used that we've seen.
Sure.
So.
And I realize now, you saying that his little outburst in the cell is basically what Sylvie did as well.
Yeah, she like
just sent out a concussion spike.
Yeah.
They're really one and the same.
And I feel like she would I mean, granted, everything is happening so fast and she's trying to get to the arc, but I also feel like she would take notice if he was using the time. I don't know.
Yeah, probably. I think the showing of the time stones in the drawer was the last little like farewell to that story device, that plot device. And where does it end up? In a junk drawer? Like it's done. And maybe you'll come across it again. Maybe you'll look for something, but it's over. We did the story of the stones.
Yeah.
Now, granted, there may be something left over with the stone and Vision, but I highly doubt it. It got destroyed, and we've got something new inside Vision. So
I think it's just this power.
Yeah, I think the stones are done and gone, and he's just really powerful.
The Infinity Saga is
that's exactly what it is. It's the Infinity Stone Saga on a bookshelf in the corner because it was the first. Yeah. And now we're filling out the next box set that we have to buy. But no, Loki's powerful as hell. Being that was him, like holy crap, being able to boom. I feel bad for everyone on the other end.
I feel like too when they had that conversation on the train and she's like, you're really good with magic. Someone must have taught you very well. And then, he goes into the conversation about Frigga and so I mean he has that magic there,
right?
It's there.
It's there. And I feel like it was such a dire life or like crush or use your power, and I think that's when it's used. Like I don't feel like that's something that he would use all the time, because it's only in very dire situations. I think he likes more of his like trickster, mischievous magic, manipulation and things like illusions more than anything else. But overall, I the more I think about it, the more I like this episode, just because we got so much from Sofia DiMartino and her performance as Sylvie, and that conversation was just really nice for us to learn about her character and have the two of them kind of talk back and forth, and they go from this like bickering sibling type of situation to having a really nice heartfelt conversation about like love and sexuality and things like that. So I really enjoyed it, even though, and I don't want to even call this one slow pace because it's not. There was actually a lot of action.
Everybody that is feeling that way about this episode obviously don't watch Doctor Who consistently, because there's plenty of this in Doctor Who. And for instance, Midnight, which is by far one of the best episodes of Doctor Who, is an episode I skipped for years and never watched it because it started out and I'm like, I can't handle this. This is too slow.
It's all on a train. They're all on a train.
All on a space train. All on a space train. And it's a bottle episode. Yeah. And it starts out and I'm like, I can't handle this. So I just moved on to the next episode. And finally, I was like, you know what? After we were all caught up, and I was like, there's one episode I haven't watched yet. So I went back and watched it. Holy crap. I am kicking myself for being so late to that episode because...
Which this episode did remind me a little bit because of when they're on the train and the things are like falling down. Like it's like a crystal planet that they're on. Right. But
I get the slow aspect. I get the slow aspect of storytelling, but there's something about it that just felt necessary to me. That I didn't have any problem with it. I'm like, okay, now we're in a Doctor Who Borderlands type episode. Like, that's cool. I love those episodes.
Love it.
And I was for it. That ending too. Like, you throw in a Children of Men level choreographed one shot, the way they did at the end of this episode, appreciation from me all on this side of the table. Like for that freaking show and what they were able to pull off in that episode. And, you know, some people just don't even think about that when they're ready to just bash on the episode or just didn't like the episode. It's like, at least show some appreciation for that final scene of Loki, because I love when they put that level of effort into that kind of action in an action sequence. And that's what this is. It's an action show, you know? Sometimes there's talking and sometimes there's character bonding, not growing, bonding, which requires a little bit of growth. We're going to find a hell of a lot more about Sylvie coming up. I guarantee it.
I think that we are going to find out more in this upcoming episode coming soon on Wednesday. Which I am definitely looking forward to seeing, like, what is her motive as to why she's doing this, what she's doing. You know, it was years in the making and Loki just stopped it. So I'm interested of how much, it's going to be good.
Oh, yeah.
It has to be. I mean, they've been killing it for so long that we can't go back to, you know.
Now you need to add a little extra more to this next episode, because to make up for this episode, that it was kind of short. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it was like a 43 minutes.
Oh, yeah, it was it was the lowest. It was the smallest of the three. For an editor, it's great. Thank you.
Yes, I agree with that. Robert and I will always text each other at you know, like midst of the night, 3-4 o'clock in the morning, because I know he's still up doing his thing.
Right. When it depends on like the episode though. If it's a hard edit, like we'll be back and forth like the whole time. And when it's the hard edits, we're just, oh my god, it's number 6 and it's not uploading. But when it's like a quick one, we're like, oh, first try, that was great, I'm going to bed. Like,
okay, good night.
We will never converse, but when we're sitting there like, oh my god, how did you guys get up? Dos Cavazos that beat us by an hour already? What the hell? So yeah, it's
you just never know.
It's an experience. It's a weird experience. I just love it though,
because it's fun competition to be like, okay, are we gonna get it up for who's gonna
it's a race? Like, it's a race. But it's weird. With Dos Cavazos, I feel like it's a race, and I love them to death. But with Dos Cavazos, I feel like it's a race. With Wendy and us, like, I feel like we're crossing the finish line holding hands. Because like
running together
time, it's like 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 5. Like it's always pretty much neck and neck. But then when it's like, okay, we beat Cavazos by an hour, we're good. Because it's like whoever is that lead pace car gets all the views first. So it's just, but with Wendy and Dustin and us, like, I feel like it's synonymous. It's like, okay, watching theirs, we'll be right over to yours. Watching yours, we'll be right over to theirs. Like, it feels like in the first 3 to 6 hours, like, we're just chained together, like Fled with Lawrence Fishburne and Stephen Baldwin. You remember that? They're chained together. It's not a great movie, but there's some Fled fans in the comment section, I'm sure. But yeah, that's great. I prefer short episodes sometimes.
Sometimes. As a consumer, I want longer. As an editor, I want shorter.
Absolutely. I love Bad Batch. Oh, the Bad Batch.
Boom, boom, boom. Done.
We get our edits up in 2 hours. It took 2 hours to get.
Isn't it so good? Out. You're like, I can go to sleep and it's only 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Exactly. Yeah. It's not the 7 a.m. edits where I'm like, oh, why is it not going through? Damn it, Disney, stop blocking it. This is fun for everyone. Dos Cavazos have us by 3 hours. Like, son of a bitch.
How? What's her secret? We got to get them on to see. Like, so what's your secret,
dude? So I don't know. It's fun and an added level of experience for these shows that I don't think everyone else that's watching it. Like, we experience it on a whole new level. We watch every episode over and over and over and over, cut over and over and over, cut. And like, we're absorbing these episodes every freaking Wednesday and Friday. And it's exhausting. But and that's why when you see something and you're like, damn it, we didn't talk about that. It's so obvious. Why didn't we talk about that? It should be.
Sometimes I do the thing where I cut in myself at like 4 o'clock in the morning, trying to be really quiet and be like, okay, so I've watched this clip for the 5th time and I noticed this. I just wanted to add it in. Okay, back to your regular scheduled program.
Sure. Future Wendy here. We forgot to mention this. We know it's this. So sometimes I'll just do like little like if there's something we forgot to mention, I'll put a picture of it to kind of like, hey, it's kind of like this, right? Because I forgot to mention it. But yeah, you have fun in the editing aspect.
Oh yeah, for sure. And
I think Dustin commented a little bit ago.
Did he?
Yeah.
I missed it.
We were knee deep in conversation.
Oh yeah, Dustin. Hey guys, love you. Sorry I couldn't make it today. I am only able to watch for 10 minutes during my break, and his break is now over. Oh, almost. Not yet. Oh, we miss
love
you.
Love you, Dustin.
Hi, Dustin.
We miss you. Level 2 Trading says you should do a big group chat with all of you guys, posting pics of YouTube tagging you on claims before uploading.
So that'll be its own vlog.
So
I edit.
I've been working on this for a while, and I still need to build a layout for it. But my intention was the cross the streams, and I think we talked about it way back when we were doing the late in the week stuff. But I want to do cross the streams where we do cross the streams, and it's a perfect Ghostbuster reference for other channels, and we would do obviously Wendy and Dustin previewed, get those cavazos, the rejects, of course, and we just shoot the shit about reacting and the effort that goes in and what we do, just trying to get these videos up. Copyright claims, your experience, and you don't have to get like
you can get Greg to talk about that for sure,
100%, and it would be called Cross the Streams, and we would end up connecting with other channels to do that. But so far, the only crossing of the streams we do is with the movie couple. So you guys are our go-to, man. I don't know.
Thanks.
I only feel comfortable with you guys because you're the channel I know.
Well, you guys, you know Greg and John too.
We do. But we don't.
Cool.
We didn't sleep at Greg and John's.
Yeah, we didn't sleep in there.
Air
you guys
mattress.
aren't there several times.
Right. we didn't walk with Greg and John to get boba tea and food, and
we walked to get noodles.
Yeah, I got noodles and stuff.
Yeah, you guys gotta come back.
Have Dustin get attacked by a spider in the tree.
Oh yeah, because we thought it was a black widow.
Yeah, we have good times. So yeah, we miss you guys. That's why we gotta meet up. Cross the streams.
That's why we got one of these days. Where everybody's vaccinated here, we should just drive to Arizona. Maybe after the summer's over.
Stay with us. We got an extra bedroom
after the summer's done. Because how hot is it there?
Too hot.
Yeah. Yes. I think it's 115, averagely around 115.
Right now?
We felt it
right
today.
Now.
No, right now it's 100. But we were at 115 last week. It feels like 115.
We got up all the way to 117.
Funny enough, right here in the corner of my computer, it says 100 degrees. That's nice.
No, stay inside. Don't go outside.
My phone says 107. So.
Oh, shit. Well, that's a variance of 7 degrees. You failed me, computer.
7 degrees is no joke.
No, that's why we don't live in Phoenix. Phoenix
is worse.
Phoenix is worse.
Yeah, and it's just like a 7-degree difference as well.
Which is kind of funny because they are considering doing Mattel is considering doing like a Hot Wheels theme roller coaster up there, theme park in general. They're gonna do a Thomas the Train area. There's gonna be a roller coaster that looks like you are on a car.
Oh, cool!
And it like a Hot Wheels car, and I'm just like. Just thinking about going during this time.
It's like, is it going to be
do a
indoors?
Water park? That would work.
Yeah, we do have a Wet and Wild.
That's a whole different experience. You want to be theme parking, not swimming around in other people's everything. So either way, eventually we'll get that, but who knows? It's too hot. It's too hot.
Accurate. Yeah, it is too hot.
Tim Franco.
Tim.
Yeah, Tim Franco. It's been cool this week and next week. We love when it's only 100. Yeah, no, I don't. Wow. Because everything above 100 and up, I'm done. No, it's
you guys should just pack up your stuff and move to LA. We can be neighbors. It'll be great.
We'd be living in your alley.
Was it Tuesday? Wednesday, we went to go eat food. We went and we came out of the restaurant and we were like, it's kind of nice outside. Yeah. But it was 40% chance that it was raining.
Yeah, and it rained.
It did rain, but it was it's nice, and I want more rain.
Yeah, and we get it during monsoons sometimes.
If
very
we
rarely.
Have a monsoon season.
But yeah, no, we wouldn't be able to afford to live in Los Angeles. Y'all out there just price us out.
It's really expensive.
Even here, everyone's moving to Tucson, so they're pricing us out here too, for the most part. I mean, we're lucky enough to hang on to our place. Hang on to our place. But
for now,
it's pricey. It's pricey to live out here now too. So, but yeah, the heat. We just stay indoors and watch movies and TV and transplant to a theater and then come back and transplant to our house.
AC all the way.
100%.
AC in the theater, AC in the car, AC in the house.
Have to.
Yeah.
Unbearable if you don't have it.
I know. Pairing to the point where it's like if our AC went out, we would just go and get like a hotel room because it would not. We did it a couple times. We had like 3 or 4 fans try, and it still did not help.
It doesn't work. But sucks because
it circulates the hot.
And you're just breathing in your own like hot air again.
Yeah. And what sucks is that we both work here now. So it's like if something were to go wrong, it's like not coming into work, which I can just tell myself. But
I think it got to where hot too, where our power went out.
Yeah, we had a rolling blackout.
Oh gosh,
but I bought an extended like emergency battery, like the real heavy ones that you carry.
Nice.
Put it down, the computers in it. So when the power went out, I'm like, oh! And I ran over and started saving and shutting everything down. They're like, okay, you're good. And then it was like beeping, and then the power came back on. But yeah, definitely an investment for any streamer that does any.
Get yourself an external power pad.
Yeah. You're granted your internet will go out, so if you're streaming, you lose it. But if you're editing, if you're editing, you want to be able to have some time.
God, can you imagine? Oh,
right, because most computers, because we don't use a laptop, we use a desktop, and most computers, that power goes off. So wherever you are, you're going to be losing it, and it could get corrupt. So. That's been your computer talk, your tech talk with streamers across the stream for everybody.
And before we end today's stream, I missed this super chat from Everett Brown. Everett, thank you so much. Everett writes, I think when Sylvie fell asleep, Loki created an illusion, especially when he was talking about the difference between duplication and illusion. That's an interesting conversation. So we did talk about whether or not we think Loki created an illusion or not when she fell asleep. And at this point where I think the 3 of us anyways are agreeing to kind of take things at face value and that she just was tired. You know, it's a lot happened. She infiltrated the TVA and then she was like bam to a new planet. But I did like that conversation between duplication and illusion. Because Loki is known to do a little bit of both. I feel like, you know, he can have dupes and he can do illusion, but he was very curious about Sylvie's powers. And she was like, do you want me to show you? And how come I can't get inside your mind? Which I feel like didn't Loki at one point was also able to do that? Or am I getting it confused with something else?
Well, we had this conversation where it kind of like when she was able to do the thing, it kind of reminded me of the thing in Thor Ragnarok when Valkyrie and Loki are having that like fight scuffle. And then he finds out that she is a Valkyrie. And then he's like, it must be a painful memory for you. And then he does the thing. And then we see the flashback of what happened. Right. And then she kind of was like, so I feel like
he's done it.
He has that power there too.
He gave her the memory. He pulled that memory up and gave it to her. It's just that Sylvie is capable of dancing within it. So, I mean, when you're talking about her falling asleep and waking up and seeing him do stuff, it takes me back to movies where like the whole thing was a dream and it does come back like click. He's like, he lays in the bed, closes his eyes, and then someone calls him and he gets up. And that's the whole movie.
Total Recall.
He goes under, and from then on.
We don't know if it's if he's still in the recall thing or if it actually is happening.
And all it takes is for a character to go to sleep on screen at the beginning of the movie to tie it all back to that. It never happened. So could that be the moment the cut happened? Absolutely. It's very, very possible. At the same time, it's very possible it's the other direction as well.
Right. Yeah, for sure. So I guess we'll find out, in the next episode if Mobius shows up and, walks through the little time door because he knows to look within apocalypses to find them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing will happen unless Loki has something else, in his back pocket, which is also possible.
And he's going to be able to search all the apocalypse too to find their readings. So they've already done that before. He even told Loki, like, I'll be able to find you and we'll just keep arresting you. how do you know you could do that if you didn't already have the ability to do that? It's just a pain in the butt because he has to go hunting for him. So it's more of just a time waster, but he will always catch you. So I feel like he's going to catch him and be like, Loki, what are you doing running away from me? Oh, okay, well, we should go. Yep. And it's like, yeah, that sucks for all those people. But, you know, that's the way I think it's more than likely going to go. But if not, I'll give them an A for the effort of dancing and setting up this whole crazy mind warping illusion. That'd be fun too.
Oh, yeah. I just came up with a thought.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if it's true. I have to put my tin hat foil on there. So
we should make them.
We should make them for the next stream.
Yeah, right. Put it on. So I know, like, when he's going through the TVA, and they do talk about the sacred timeline, and that it almost felt like what they were watching was propaganda from TVA, and it's them creating it. So it's like, what if there are still other timelines out there, but they just want you to think that there's just one sacred timeline to kind of keep you in check? We'll figure it out.
I mean, that could be how the multiverse exists. Yeah, it's because there are timelines out there that are behaving, but I don't know, maybe not. No, they said
or it's just one sacred.
I don't know. Timeline. It all depends on who's telling us the truth,
right?
And we don't know.
We'll see. I know everybody could be lying, being lied to, and telling the lies. Well, you guys, that's real soon. In what, 3 days? 2 days technically, because Tuesday, early Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's almost here again.
2 plus some hours. 2 days plus some hours. Robert and Vanessa, thank you guys so much for taking the time, for spending an hour and a half with me, holding down the stream in Dustin's absence. Where can everybody find you guys all over the internet?
It's Late to the Party everywhere. Officially LTTP on Twitter, I think, but everywhere else it's officially Late to the Party.
Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, and Discord.
We got a Discord. Thanks to
Discord.
Wendy was like guiding me through the whole thing. But yeah, we got a Discord as well. And then guys, streaming is coming to Twitch soon. Everything.
What is it? Twitch.tv/ officially late to the party.
Officially late to the party. But yeah, that's coming very soon.
You'll catch me doing some Crash Bandicoot.
Hell yeah. When the Lego games come out, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Maybe we'll play against the movie couple and
I built the layout
Smash
for it.
Brothers, I built the Mario Party or Mario Kart.
It should be happening soon. The hardest part, I don't know how to connect our Switches together. Is that a thing? Can we play multiplayer online?
Yeah.
Is that it?
We can do online play. You have to buy the membership it's like $3-4 a month for a Nintendo Switch Online.
Bastards.
Another one. But right? with that you can do it.
Okay. Well, in that case, it's built and ready. We just have to test it. We'll probably be testing it here a bit. So make sure you go follow us on Twitch.
Yay! And for you guys, you can just follow us here on YouTube. Subscribe if you haven't already. Do the thumbs up things because YouTube really likes that. When you put them on videos, helps us get more. The both of us get more visibility. Instagram, Twitter is just the movie couple. The Instagram doesn't have the underscore at the end. The Twitter it does because somebody else is the movie couple on there. I don't know. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and say goodbye here. Let me just take off these banners. Otherwise, they stay. And we will... Oh, God, here we go. Talk to you guys next time. Bye everyone.